Dunstan.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Adam Dunstan. I live on East Inwood Way in Flagstaff. And I wanted to talk to you today to express my strong support for reopening a discussion on the principles of sound water management, in particular Principle C7, in particular about renewing reclaimed water contracts. And I feel it gives too much power, perhaps, to the utilities director, and that that's a topic that we could revisit. There are some good environmental reasons, I think, to review the principles of sound water management. However, I'm not coming to you mainly about the environmental concerns so much today as more ones rooted in conservatism. It may surprise you to know that I'm actually moderate and I vote Republican as often as I vote Democrat. And I do that partly because I have conservative leanings towards smaller government and prefer smaller government if possible. And I think there are some members of the council that do too. So I'm speaking more specifically to you today about some of the more conservative reasons I think we should revisit our principles of sound water management. As it currently stands, sorry, I've written something down and I got a little off track. What I was going to say is one of the central tenets of conservatism is an aversion to big government and bureaucracy and a belief in the power of the private market and of individual citizens and their liberties. I've lived in some very big government states such as New York and Oregon, but nowhere have I been so shocked by the overreach of government as in Flagstaff, and nowhere more so than in our water policies as it currently stands. I can think of few things as egregiously big government and anti-liberty as an unelected administrator behind closed doors making decisions that will affect us for 20 years regarding both our natural resources and the taxpayer subsidies of them. This is a complex issue, but to be frank, I believe it is corporate welfare, and it is big government to a T. Not only that, but this particular use of water affects the religious liberties that our forefathers died protecting. As someone raised in a conservative home and as a moderate with conservative leanings, I am made very uneasy by this policy. I think it would be best if the public could vote on these policies, but I realize that, frankly, they're probably too complex for us to vote on them as an entire citizenry. But I think it would be more democratic and more pro-liberty if at least the council could vote on renewing reclaimed water contracts. As it stands, all power seems to be in the hand of a bureaucracy. If you do wish to keep the policy as it currently stands and not even revisit the possibility of discussion, that is fine. However, those of you who consider yourselves conservative, I think that you should rethink that next time that you vote in a Republican primary, and perhaps be more honest to the public that you are not in favor of democracy and liberty, but instead in favor of big government and autocratic bureaucracy. Thank you.
Allison Gitlin.